time, do you have comments from the audience?
Yes, we have 4 speakers. General Broward.
Okay, is he here? Good afternoon, General. Good to see
Sure,
you.
thank you for protection of members. Congratulations. Now, I admire what this new board has done. What you've done in the past year is historic. This district, unfortunately, in the past, before you, had a long history. Not a good one. I'm pleased that you're here. We will forward to know you're going to continue the good work. It's our personal belief that we'll partner with Buchanan, Ingersoll, Rooney, and my partner, Jesse Tynan, is here today also. Both of us got involved in the district because we're convinced you're attempting to do the right thing, all of you, the board as well as your members. And we know you're going to continue to do that because it's the right thing to do. We got involved because we want to do the right thing also. It's important to this county. 2/3 of this county you represent. That's a great responsibility. And I believe you're doing it well. We do not believe that we do not believe that anyone here has done anything wrong. And we're convinced with that. Jesse and I spent quite a bit of time on this case. And we're convinced you're going in the right direction. All I can say is please continue going in the right direction and make this community proud again. Thank you.
Thank you, General. Next.
Matt Menschel.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. My name is Matt Menschel, and I'm an attorney at the law firm of Cobrey and Camden. And like Mr. Butterworth, I am also outside counsel to the district. By way of background, I served as a prosecutor for 20 years. First as a state prosecutor in the Manhattan DA's office, and then as a federal prosecutor with the U.S. Attorney's Office here in the Southern District of Florida. The time that I left government service, I was chief of the criminal division, which meant I had ultimate supervision over all criminal matters brought by the U.S. Attorney's Office. Part of my job in those 20 years was to train other prosecutors, including in particular how to conduct grand jury investigations that were fair, proper, and done with integrity. Because this matter is obviously important to the district, I'd like to offer my personal opinion about the indictment filed by the Broward County State Attorney's Office. My opinion is based on the indictment and the information in a motion that was filed yesterday titled Motion to Review Grand Jury Testimony Based on Prosecutorial Misconduct and Grand Jury Abuse and Motion to Dismiss. It was filed yesterday by counsel for Ms. Barrett and certain of the commissioners who are here today. Based on my review, I have serious concerns about the way in which this grand jury investigation was conducted, and as a result, the indictment that was brought forth from it. A grand jury investigation needs to be conducted with integrity and in accord with fundamental principles of due process. Now, time does not permit me to address all the concerns that I have regarding the way in which this investigation was conducted. But I think the motion filed yesterday does a very good job in that regard. So I will focus here on a few important issues. In this case, the prosecutor was fully aware that an outside attorney for the district named Kevin Hyde had been retained by the district so that he could advise, among other things, as to how the general counsel and others should conduct themselves in a manner consistent with the Florida Sunshine Law. And this happened after an independent investigator found that the interim CEO, Pauline Grant, had committed a probable violation involving a kickback scheme. Mr. Hyde also reviewed and advised on the notice and agenda of the December 1st meeting, where the board ultimately voted to remove Ms. Grant. Had the grand jury heard Mr. Hyde's testimony, they would have learned that he provided this advice. Hearing about this advice would have been critical to the grand jury's assessment of the evidence, because under the law, and frankly basic common sense, when someone seeks legal advice about how to do something and then follows that advice, then they have done nothing wrong. In fact, seeking advice of counsel in this matter was the prudent thing to do. Yet the prosecutor in this case decided not to subpoena Mr. Hyde before the grand jury, even though Mr. Hyde's testimony would likely have had a dramatic impact in the grand juror's understanding of the evidence before them. A prosecutor must present a full and complete presentation to the grand jury of all material facts known to him. This is required under both the law and the ethics rules that govern prosecutors. It ensures that the proceeding is fair. It is also simply the right thing to do. From what I've read and seen to date, it appears that the prosecutor abrogated that important responsibility. It is also known that Ms. Grant is under investigation by the Department of Justice for her conduct related to the probable violation of the anti-kickback law as found by an independent investigator. This is the same probable violation that was discussed at the December 1st board meeting and determined needed to be reported to the Office of the Inspector General. It is unclear whether this information was provided to the grand jury, and if not, that is something that also would have had an impact on the deliberative process of the grand jurors. It is also unfortunate that the individuals that the state attorney relied upon, and I understand testified before the grand jury, are some of the same individuals who engaged in questionable conduct as identified by the independent monitor in numerous reports. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Brenton Wright.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, board members. It's a pleasure being here. My name is Brenton Wright. I'm an employee of Broward Health here. Been employed here for about 16 years now, and I work in a role as an employee advocacy here at the corporate level, and certainly wanted to speak to the board regarding what I believe would be the pulse of the organization from an employment perspective. I have that pleasure of speaking with employees on a daily basis in a matter of counseling, different issues that they might, different issues they might see in the workplace where I can certainly speak to them. It's been an ongoing process for me, certainly in just listening to some of the things and how some of the employees feel. But I'll just give you a few highlights from my perspective. I think a couple of weeks ago we highlighted where we had a nursing recruit. I think we got well over 100 nurses that we actually picked from this community itself. Added to that, I understand sometime in November, just prior to Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving weekend, we had Broward Health Community Health Services had their annual feeding of the homeless. I believe we fed well over 700 homeless individuals. All the food, my understanding, was contributed by the employees. My point is that the employees are certainly, I don't understand all the stuff that's going on. A lot of folks don't understand what's going on above our pay grade is how I describe it, but the heartbeat of the employees is certainly there in terms of showing and showing improvement, and that they certainly support the organization for all the things that they're doing. Last but not least, I had the pleasure of sitting on one of my job responsibilities, sitting on management level and above panel interviews, and we were interviewing for a position last week, a gentleman that's on the west coast of this country. And during the interview, he highlighted the fact that I think someone asked him why would he be interested in working at Broward Health. He said, well, you know what, I watched a video on LinkedIn last night, and it looks like you guys are having lots of fun. I saw a video presented by, he called a gentleman's name, where it shows that all the nurses are working together, staff is just having a good time. That's the organization I want to work for. So my point, and today too, is just showing that I believe that you really have the support of the staff in terms of they're there really for patient care, patient safety. They come to work every single day to do the best that they certainly can. I happen to have a wife at home that's a nurse, so I hear it firsthand. I get it on both sides, but I promise you that no, speaking on her behalf, I know that she's wholeheartedly in it, and just want to thank you for your time just to listen to me. So thank you so much, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
State Senator Terry Thurston.
Good afternoon, Senator.
Good afternoon, Chairman and Commissioners. You know, this is my fourth time coming before you all to speak to you. And one of the things that I wanted to emphasize, that I emphasized before, is that the end users of your product from the hospital district are my constituents. And largely, the individuals in my district utilize the services. And while they are very happy with the doctors and the medical personnel that the last gentleman who was an employee spoke about, I don't think that they're happy with you. In fact, I know that they're not. When I spoke to you all in the past, we talked about things that were going on with your board. I happen to respect General Butterworth, but I vehemently disagree with his assessment. The other attorney that spoke, I don't know him, but I do know Mike Sachs. In my other capacity, I'm a criminal defense attorney, and I've been so for the past 30 years in Broward County. There have been quite a few grand jury investigations that I've monitored, even represented people, and disagreed with Mr. Sachs and his lawyers on some of the things that they've done. But to describe them as disregarding the law and not knowing what they're doing, that's inappropriate. That's wrong. That's not what's going on. But more importantly, my concern is the hypocrisy that we're witnessing here. You know, I came here for meetings, and I was here for your December 1st meeting. And that's what I want to talk to you about. In that December 1st meeting, you all, well, this board, and I don't know who was here and who wasn't, but this board emphasized, and I took some notes here, and what you all said was, it would be impossible to have an executive under criminal investigation while still in charge at the district. That wasn't that she had been indicted. That wasn't that she had been charged. You said that it would be impossible to have her still in charge while there was an investigation going on. Well, obviously, two board members, the CEO and the general counsel, are all under criminal indictment now by a grand jury, following a grand jury investigation. So I guess what I'm saying is that what's good for the goose should be good for all of us. So I'm concerned about how, if you make a statement that a person cannot continue to work or be employed, and I don't know what your specific rules speak to as it relates to individuals who are charged criminally, but certainly, if you go back to your December 1st meeting where you released Ms. Pauline Grant, you did that based on an investigation, not someone who had been criminally charged. The individuals that I've referenced have been criminally charged. Should they still be conducting the business of the district, or should they receive the same treatment? We're inquiring of the governor, who routinely removes individuals, what has happened to that in this case. But clearly, your own rules would dictate, in your own words. I mean, I know that you have the minutes from that December 1st meeting, but what was stated was we have taken corrective action in order to protect the institution. There is no way that our CEO can be under criminal investigation and still be in charge of the facility. As distasteful as it is, I agree wholeheartedly. And I guess that unless someone has another way of handling it, I think we've got to ask Ms. Grant to step down. These are your words. Your words from your December 1st meeting when you asked her, when you let her go. You said, it's not an attack, it's not a personal vendetta, it's not an attack, it's normal operation procedure for a hospital company in a system. I don't see any other way to handle it. So these are your words about this is the same hospital system, the same normal operating procedure. Why are we not taking that same action? This is not an investigation which she was under. This is an indictment after a criminal investigation. So I stand here asking you, and I've got so many more quotes from that meeting from December 1st, 2016, and certainly you have access to it. But the problem is this. The people here are proud with the services that they receive from Broward Health. They're not happy with the management. They're not happy with your board. We've been here on 4 separate occasions. And when I came, I said, sort of like General Butterworth, that I look forward to working with you to get through this. But it's apparent that as we were having those discussions and that dialogue, there was something else going on. And it was violations of the laws. And again, I've worked with the state attorney's office here in Broward County for 30 years. I don't have the same opinion of their services. I think that under the current situation, there needs to be a decision made whether individuals who are under indictment should continue to be conducting the business of the district. And I thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak to you about this issue. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Anybody else?
Mr. Chairman, we have 4 additional signers from the people signing this week
Yeah.
after the meeting.
So what's the problem?
It's at the discretion of the chair. It's technically not related to that.
3 minutes, 30 minutes.
Bobby Henry?
Good afternoon. My name is Bobby Henry. I'm the publisher of the West Side Gazette. That's Broward County's oldest and largest black-owned newspaper. And I come with concern of transparency. Where is the transparency as it relates to the commission? You know, I understand that here in America, and I'm going to be short and to the point. I understand that here in America, you're innocent until proven guilty. I guess in this case, it depends on what color you are. So I just ask that you, as a commission, please take into consideration what transparency is and the fact that those who are accused are innocent until proven guilty, regardless of what color. So I just ask the same be done in this case. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Pastor Jackson?
Good afternoon. My name is Pastor Alan Jackson. I'm the senior pastor of our church. Growing up, my mom always told me to play by the rules. She said that if everybody plays by the rules, then we have a level playing field. And it's interesting how we're always, as African American, told that we're supposed to play by the rules and follow the laws if we want to be successful and if we want to be progressive in this country. But then when it comes to people of other colors, the rules seem to change according to whatever the situation is at the time. I support and I believe in fair play and playing by the rules. And so I think that everybody needs to play by the rules. I represent a group of pastors here today that are concerned that this board and those who have been indicted are not playing by the rules. We had a CEO that was let go because she was under investigation. That was it. But now we have some board members that have been indicted, and there seems to be no interest or no concern as to what their fate is going to be. I know ultimately it falls in the hands of the governor, But at the end of the day, the community is expecting this board to operate in integrity, and we want to be able to trust that those of you that hold those seats play by the same rules as everybody else. And so I think it's very important as you move forward to set an example that no one is exempt, no one is above the law, and what happens to one happens to all, especially when they fall up under the same similar situation. I think it's also important for you to understand that, as State Senator Perry Thurston said, your end clients, the people who are serviced by the Broward Health Hospital District, expect integrity and expect fairness throughout the entire, from top to bottom. It may seem as though, even though you guys hold most of your meetings and the community is not here and the community is not present when we're making decisions, but they affect us, they affect the community, they affect the county as a whole. And so today I'm standing here and I'm asking, and I'm trying to get an understanding of what are you guys gonna do? The individuals that have been found to be indicted, what are you gonna do? What is the chairman gonna do? What are the other board members gonna do about addressing this situation? Something has to be done, and I hope and pray that you guys will do the right thing as we continue to follow this situation until its completion to see what the outcome is gonna be. I thank you for your time, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you.
Thank you.
Vincente Broward.
Vincente Drawer, board members and Mr. Chair, you all understand that the trust of the community is at the top of the priority for any board of directors. We are the majority stakeholders when it comes to this body. Though we may not appoint or elect you all to be in this position, our trust should be at the top of the priority. But here's how we look at this right now. As the state senator said, as the pastor said, even today right now, the president of our state party for the SCLC, Dr. King's organization, is here right now because how serious this problem is right now in Broward County. Where's our trust in this organization to do what's right? There cannot be two sets of laws that identify how a process is. Mr. Chairman, a couple of meetings ago, you and the Vice Chair identified how you're going to make better and reach out to the community and have dialogue. Has that taken place?
What was that?
A couple of meetings ago, you all said that you're going to reach out to the African American community, and we're going to have the president also do so. Mr. Vice Chairman, do you believe that has been fulfilled? Have you been in any meetings whereby you all have conversations with the black community to talk about the issues and our concerns? Now follow through with what is happening right now. We are still now we're at a bigger stalemate than before. The confidence of the African American community, which you all serve the majority of, is us. And our trust is like gone. You all have lost the confidence of the African American community. And if the governor don't believe that that's a problem, you all should believe that is a problem. You all should leave here today worried about the trust of the people who you all represent. The president is sitting over there like it ain't nothing. Our state senator made a comment. That should worry everybody in this building. It ain't about a Republican appointment. It's about what's right. It ain't just about what Michael Sachs said in his indictment. You all should care about what's right. And I do realize we got one Democrat appointed up there right now, but nevertheless, what's right is right. And I'm hoping that there will be something that you all will direct the CEO and along with yourself and figure out how are you going to gain the trust of this community back. That should be at the top of it. Mr. Chairman, you used to be the property appraiser. You understand the time, exactly what time it is when it comes to the black community. If we're here saying it, you know we mean it.
Thank you.
Harry Johnson.
Good evening. My name is Reverend Gary Johnson, the South Florida President of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. It's an honor to see you again, Mr. Chairman, and to your board. I echo
Good
the
afternoon,
sentiments.
please.
Pardon me?
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. I echo the sentiments of my members. I didn't come here with thousands of our members to saturate your place because this is a major issue right now that's facing you. But I do echo Senator Thurston's sentiments. But I believe in, as Dr. King and many other leaders have come before, is sitting down to the table and resolving this issue. We have a member of the community has worked her way up to be in the position she was in, deservingly so, because she put it there. To be unjust, and to now that you are facing even more charges as it relates to being indicted. I wish that on no one. I wish that on anyone to be indicted or be accused of anything that's not lawful. So I'm here not to pass judgment, but to perhaps sit down with you, with Senator Thurston, with Bobby from the West Side Gazette, and sit down to resolve this issue. But if not, there's an old saying that you made your presence in our town, and we'll make our presence downtown. So I'm asking you, after this meeting is over with, let us sit down and talk and reason with minds coming together to do what's best for this organization and the company that you represent. It is deeply disturbing. It arises to the level of us marching, us boycotting, us having press conferences, and many other things. I have several of my members, some Latino, and my pastors in the back is Latino. So we're not a black organization, we're a people's organization. But we stand for what is righteous. And right now there's an unjust that's taking place, and if there's a law that's unjust, there's no law for all of us. And having said that, I'm going to ask you respectfully, let's sit down. Because I came before, Mr. Chairman, and you remember me. I prayed for you, and I prayed for this Baptist. I prayed for you months ago. But also at the end of my prayer, I said, if it's not right, God, reveal it. And he revealed it. But there's got to be corrective measures in place. And so I'm asking you, respectfully, after this meeting is over with, let's sit down and talk about how can we rectify the situation to do what's best for the citizens of our community, that the people that you service and you take care. Continue to do the work and continue to provide better services for the constituents, but more importantly, you got to have a just board. If not, there's no justice at all. Thank you.
Thank you.